All right, patch notes for the next season have dropped for Showdown. Never really made a video like this before, but I kind of wanted to record my initial thoughts and reactions just for like posterity. I want to go back and see if this is still true at the end of the season, and also just want to go over some of the changes. This way, if you're interested, you can hear what I think. So let's get started. So there's going to be a new game mode called Wildcard. I'm just going to go through the wildcard changes here real quick. Wildcard is a brand new way to play the game. Challenges what you come to expect, blah, blah, blah. It's a twist on the squads you're used to, streamlined legends, and the option to stack legends as you please. That'll be kind of interesting. Stacking legends, never really done that before. It's fun and fast-paced building into the core, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. New permanent mode. So that's nice. Nice to know this is a permanent mode without worrying about your stats or RP. Okay, cool. So it's like a permanent casual mode. Very nice. With a mode as fast as this one, there's no time to loot, especially if you get that one squad mate who needs to spend the first 10 minutes going through every bin. Man, like, why you gotta call me out like that? That's messed up. Anyway, it's about getting you into the match, trying things out, building your confidence, and at the pace of Octane, which is rapido. Okay, more shooting. The map built for movement, you won't want to stand still. Get those guns ready and be prepared for battle around every corner. Cool. Level up your firing power by earning orbs by eliminating enemies. Okay. Kitted weapons. Each piece you pick up comes with a full batch of attachments. Okay, that's great. So that's nice that you don't have to loot for attachments. You just get a gun and you go. I've played game modes like that before. It's actually very nice. Respawning. As long as one of your squad mates are alive, so are you. All the way through to the final ring. So this is kind of like what Call of Duty does in Resurgence, where as long as one teammate stays alive for like 10 seconds, then all the teammates can respawn and come back. It's very hectic and very chaotic, but you can keep coming back until your whole team has been eliminated. So that's kind of fun, actually. Self-revives are back. Everybody gets one. Loser, if you don't use it, you lose it. Okay, cool. Self-revives used to be on the gold knockdown shield, which got removed from the game, but this will be kind of cool to see. I've seen some fun plays with self-revives. Less looting, great. So auto looting straight to your inventory. This is called the loot vacuum, which is really nice. Like games like Fortnite have the loot vacuum. Call of Duty Warzone also has the loot vacuum, which is nice. Reduced loot pool. No backpacks, no knockdown shields, no accelerants, no helmets, no hop-ups. You get it. Okay, great. So just get your guns and go. Cells are still up for grabs, but your health will auto regen after you've been out of combat for a bit. Okay. Simplified inventory. Gone is inventory management with dedicated slots for auto sorting. That's really nice. So you can really just focus on gunplay, rotations, and just shooting players, which is really cool. Which, if you're new to the game and you're trying to build your confidence, obviously this is going to help get you in the action a little bit more. So that's really nice. It's also good for practicing your gunplay as well. One of the issues, like aim labs and Kovacs, are great for training your your basic mechanics and your basic skills when it comes to like mouse and keyboard and stuff, but you lose a little bit when you're not actually using the guns in the game and playing against players in the way that they move in the game. So this will actually kind of help get you into more of those situations so you can fight more, which is great. Ultimate Playground, Stack Legends, Wild Non-Kings Canyon. Okay, I don't think there's anything really much more to talk about here. Balancing by itself. So yeah, this new game mode looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's very casual, friendly. Can't really take it too seriously, but you'll be able to get into the action a lot faster, and it kind of breaks down Battle Royale in some of its more basic modes, so you don't have to worry about things like managing your inventory or managing your health as much, or being super cautious with your life. Like, you'll be able to come back into the game. So that's kind of cool. So I like this. I think this will be a fun game mode to play. Let's move on to actual patch notes. Legend updates. In addition to some controller class updates, we've taken a pass on 2 Smoke Show legends. Good to have you back in the meta, Gas Daddy and Bangy Dang. Bangy Dang. Okay. Caustic. Yeah, good. I'm glad they're addressing Caustic. He has really been kind of weak. Caustic's gas should be deadly enough to live up to the fantasy, but lately it's felt toothless. Sure, I'll go with that. With the updates detailed below, Nox gas has become something Caustics can trust to threaten or hold an area for a long time with windows that attackers can play around. Caustic's new Field Research perk allows him to gain additional legend updates, making him the first to be able to get all 4 upgrades at once. That's going to be interesting. I'm curious how that's actually going to be balanced, but we'll see how it works out. Bangalore. With a whole new legend upgrade tree, Bangalore has been given a ton of new flexibility. Among these new options are new breaching mechanics that allow you to clear out entrenched enemies. Okay. Gameplay additions. Elite weapons. Take the firepower from Ballistic's personal stash into your hands. Side note, this stuff bothers me. Like, a little bit. It's not a huge deal, but, like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, you don't need to have lore behind guns. Like, you can just be like, yeah, this gun needs a balance update, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to say where it came from. Obviously, very minor, nitpicky sort of thing, but whatever. These variants pack a punch and replace their typical counterparts for limited time. Showdown brings the RE45 Burst, which swaps to energy ammo and comes with a spin-up mechanic. So that's cool. There was a little bit of overlap in the light ammo area because there was already a pistol, which was the P2020, and there was also another pistol, which was the RE45. And the RE45 as a pistol also overlapped, I think, a little bit with the alternator as well. So it had one less attachment, yeah, but honestly, there was a little bit of overlap there. So I think this is really good to put into the energy ammo category because energy guns did not have a pistol, and now they do. So that's cool. Legend amps are game-changing passives available in unranked and ranked BR matches. With 5 options to choose from, there's an optimal amp that could sway things in your favor. Okay. Locked hop-ups, this is good. Means the looting for the boosts are no more, which is great. Each weapon comes with a pre-equipped hop-up waiting to be activated and unlocked. So this is really cool. I like this, and I think they'll get more into it later in the patch notes, but let's keep on going here. Ranked. Key adjustments have been made to better reflect your performance and risks. Entry costs, placement, RP, and kill points have been tuned to create more room for performance-based variants and rewarding consistent, well-rounded play. The updated Challenger bonus gives more RP to players who take on and win fights against higher-tier opponents. Interesting. And those aren't the only ranked updates in Showdown. So, like, this kind of is weird to me because I don't know if the opponent I'm taking on is higher ranked than me until after the fight's over. So it's not like it really incentivizes me or anything. It just kind of rewards the behavior, which is fine. Oh, good. New drop zones. Oh, this is the best change ever. This is the best thing I've ever seen. I'm so happy with this. Drop zones will start ranked matches faster and fairer with squads automatically spread out across POIs. That's points of interest or point of interests, whatever. Before the match starts, you'll see a preview of your drop zone with a pingable map for strategic coordination. You can just, I don't know if there's a hyphen, for strategic coordination before locking in your legends. Loot has been fairly distributed across the POI, so there's no more hot zones, which is nice. Keep your head up, though. There's always a chance a neighboring squad will contest by skydiving in. So this is, I think, the biggest change in the patch, and it's the best change they've made to Battle Royale, I think, in a very long time, at least in Apex Legends. What this solves is, for someone like me, who is a solo queue player, I don't get Jump Master, and the Jump Master just wants to hot drop. And, like, I'm kind of forced to go into the game into a hot drop. Like, on World's Edge, Fragment, and Monument, that's where everyone dropped all the time. It's where all the streamers drop all the time. On Kings Canyon, hot dropping Relic or Cage, very, very normal, or Capacitor as well. On Broken Moon, Quarantine Zone was very, very popular. And then on Storm Point, I haven't played that in a while, but I think Barometer was like the hot drop area where it's like if the flight path went over any of those points of interest, that's where the game occurred. And it sucked because either you hot drop in and you just friggin' die and you just lose at the rank of Diamond, you would lose 65 points, which absolutely sucks. And then you would just requeue, and then you would get another player that would just hot drop in that same area, and it would just be like this vicious cycle, and you would lose hundreds of points in a few games because of the hot dropping, which was out of control. Or you don't hot drop, and I get Jump Master, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to those areas. I'm going to go someplace else. And then find yourself in like a top 10 situation by round 2, and then you're just playing hide and seek for the rest of the match. Like, it sucks. No matter, like, it's awful. It feels terrible. It's not what Battle Royale is supposed to be. It's more like, people playing team deathmatch. And also there were other situations that would happen as a result of this where players would, like, I would not hot drop, but the players on my team were like, no, I'm hot dropping. I don't care. And they would break off and go and hot drop and die, and then yell at me for not going with them to die. Like, they have suicide wishes, and they're like, no, you have to come with us. I'm like, no, fuck you. Not doing that. So this is going to fix all of that. You're now just going to start over a point of interest. You go straight down, and you can loot in somewhat peace, in somewhat of peace. I mean, yeah, like, people can still come over and mess with you, but it looks like there's going to be a way that you'll get a notification that someone's going to attack you. So there can still be early game fighting, but it won't be like it was, because the way it was fucking awful. It was absolutely terrible. I keep track of all my games here on this spreadsheet, and I keep track of how often I hot drop and what my stats are. You look in this table, like right here in row, what is this, 204? You can see how often, or what the average, what my average RP change was when I have to hot drop. By the way, I never hot drop, ever. So every one of these hot drops is against my will. You can see the negative numbers here. The only positive number here is for Ballistic on Kings Canyon, where he gets, I have an average of plus 14 when we hot drop. Otherwise, it's always a loss, and the losses are pretty huge. This is not really stat sig right here. Only 4 games for Loba on Broken Moon. But yeah, it's pretty bad. You can also, like, if we did something like this and we see like how many times I've hot dropped here, we go like this, hot drop. Boom. So I've hot dropped a total of 117 times, right? And I think I've tracked like 400 games. Let me see. Yeah, 400 games right here. 400. So out of 400 games, 117 of them were hot drops, which is like a third of my games were hot drops, which is all against my will. It's ridiculous. Like, it feels so terrible to be forced to play this way, and now this rank change is going to make that so much better. So much better. Okay, moving on. Auras, don't give a fuck. Accolades, don't give a fuck. I don't care about any of this stuff. Challenge updates, I don't care about challenges. Reward flow, I don't care about any of this, so I'm just moving on. I don't have a Switch, I play on PC. Patch notes, okay, great. Balance updates. Care package. Peacekeeper returns to the floor. Akimbo P2020 enters. That's great. I love the dualies. They're so much fun. Gold weapon rotation. Eva, Hemlock, RE45, Sentinel, Wingman. Okay, cool. Those would be fun. Evo Harvesters. Evo rewarded from Harvesters has been increased to 425. That's cool. I believe the first level is at 450 Evo, so this will be a little bit easier. Overhaul placement to guarantee spawns closer to the Geo Center and away from POI cores. Oh, that's cool. Spawn rate reduced. Oh, okay. So this is an interesting situation where, oh wait, let's see what they say. Evo Harvesters haven't seen many adjustments, so it's time to shake things up. We're removing spawns at the edge of the playable space and preventing them from entering POIs. This could lead to unfair starts where some leveled up quickly by chance, where others were left behind. So this is kind of like, I don't know how rare or how often this happened, but I do know that there were some times where I would drop in a POI and a harvester would be like not too far away. And if I'm playing a movement-based legend like, I don't know, Revenant or Vantage, I could fly to that, give us that 350 Evo charge, and then come back relatively quickly, and we just got that by random chance, and it would give you like a little bit of an edge in the next fight. So I'm glad that they're removing that. Intentional strategic moves will be needed to access harvesters. With fewer of them, the chances of bumping into enemies is high, but the reward is too high with nearly enough Evo to level up. Okay, cool. I think this is a good change. This makes sense to me. Gameplay updates. Amps. This worries me. Purple tier loot item. Fairly uncommon in the early game, with a higher chance to spawn in high tier loot locations, such as care packages, vaults, and hot zones. And the hot zone. I thought they said there was no hot zone. Hold on. What? Let me go back to the drop. Loot has been fairly distributed across POIs, so no hot zones here. So they have no hot zones, but here they're saying the hot zone? I'm confused. Okay, a little confusing there, but we'll see how it plays out. After bins reset, all bins have a higher chance to spawn and amp. Mythic, Legendary, Extended, and Weapon Supply bins guarantee one. Oh, Weapon Supply bins guarantee one. That's cool. Maybe. 5 amp types. Infinite ammo. What? Gain infinite ammo for non-care package weapons. Temporarily locks 2 inventory slots. These slots can hold ammo, but you cannot drop their contents. Yeah. What? Bottomless batteries. What? Batteries are not consumed upon use as you have 2. Must have 2 in... What? Over armor amp. Gain an additional 25 shield capacity. Stacks with ring expert but cannot exceed 125 shields. Heal overflow. After using a cell or a syringe, the corresponding health bar will fully heal over... What? Reduces... Okay. Amps are a new vector to explore when creating and optimizing your loadout. Your choices could be influenced by playstyle, team comp, weapons, and the bedlam each match provides. Okay. The amp you want in one match may not be the one you need in the next. That's a weird note. This is weird. This whole thing is very strange. I don't know if ranked is the place for this. My initial reaction is that, like, why? Well, no one asked for this. Infinite ammo in ranked is just going to be weird. Like, the battle of attrition used to be a thing. Like, you would want to make sure you spend your ammo wisely. Inventory management is like not really going to be a thing as much, which that's not terrible. Like, I don't mind the game focusing less on managing your inventory and focusing more on playing the game, you know, and participating with other players and shooting other players and doing that. So that less of a focus on the inventory doesn't bother me as much, but having like unlimited batteries or unlimited ammo in ranked, I don't know. We got to see how it plays. I haven't played it yet, so we'll see. But it does. This strikes me as my first impression is this is going to be weird. Okay. New elite weapons. Limited time standard issue weapons are replaced with ones from below. I don't care. New mechanics from across the Outlands. I don't care. Okay, yeah, this is where they were talking about the RE45 change. It swaps to light ammo, spin up mechanic. Okay, great. We already talked about this a little bit, so it's kind of redundant. Locked hop-ups. So this is a cool change. I think this is nice. Hop-ups removed from the floor loot, which is great. Anytime you take anything out of the floor loot, that reduces the loot pool so you can get more of what you want. It's easier to get more of what you want. So that's less stuff to worry about. Now, pre-equipped and locked on weapons, and they start as inactive. They cannot be removed or transferred. Gain locked hop-up points to activate by dealing damage to other players, upgrading at the appropriate arsenal, or picking a hop-up booster. Okay, so that's cool. So like if you have, for example, like a 30-30, and it has the Skull Piercer hop-up, it will unlock for you after you've dealt a certain amount of damage or after you've upgraded at the appropriate arsenal. So that's kind of cool. So you can, so the arsenals now have an additional function as well. White, blue, and purple kitted weapons do not come with locked hop-ups. Okay, so this is like purple kitted. So if they're already kitted out, then you don't get it. Not sure how this plays in ranked. This is a little confusing to me. Gold kitted and care package weapons come with their hop-up already unlocked. Oh, how nice. That's great. That makes perfect sense. Helmets. Removed gold and mythic helmets from floor loot. What? Okay, I don't recall gold and mythic helmets ever really being on the floor. Didn't you usually get them from supply bins and care packages? I thought that's where they spawned. This is for ranked, right? Yeah, this is like overall balance updates. So this is, I don't recall seeing too many red or gold helmets on the floor. I thought they were always in bins or care packages. All right, whatever. Cool. World's Edge, Ramparts, Big Mod. Paintball weapons are no longer offered at vending machines? Aw, whatever. I like the paintball weapons. I thought they were kind of fun. Blue and purple kitted weapons are now offered. Great. And reduced time to unlock by 2 seconds. Okay, cool. Thank you. Kind of sucks you don't have the paintball stuff. I thought that was kind of fun. Loot bins. Extended supply bins. Top drawer contents now give support items to everyone. Oh, okay, cool. The secret drawer and the Evo value remain unchanged. Okay, so if you go to like a red or a blue bin, then you're going to like get that bin's theme. So you'll get attachments or you'll get support items. That's kind of cool. I like that. The secret drawer remains unchanged, which is great. Okay, so you still get more of what's in that supply bin. Cool. Removed icons from minimap. Removed icons from minimap and full map. Why? I guess, you could probably use that information because once, like, if you're looking at the map and it disappears, there's someone there, right? I can't really think of how often that would happen to me, though. I've never even heard someone even say on comms, like, hey, I just saw this this bin got looted at this location. There's players there. I've never really heard that before. But, it's possible that you could use that information to get details on where players are. But that's interesting. So it's going to kind of be like oh, look, there's a bin here. Surprise. Interesting. I want to see how that plays out. Before a bin reset, small chance of spawning an amp or an ultimate accelerant. After the bin reset, guaranteed amp or an ultimate accelerant. Okay. So that's at round 3. You'll get you'll definitely get an amp or an ultimate accelerant for opening those bins. Great. Weapon supply bins. This is pretty much the same thing we just went over. Legendary supply bins, amps, and hop-up boosters are added to the pool. Okay, so the loot pool was diluted from removing the hop-ups from the loot pool, but now you get 2 more in there, so it kind of makes it worse. I guess now meh. Okay, I don't want to go into too much of the loot pool, but whatever. All right, let's talk about the legends a little bit. Controller class, zone overcharge, now continuously regenerates shields while in the zone. Okay, that's cool. Ring consoles, players can spawn a taller custom evac from ring consoles they have scanned. Oh, okay, that's cool. So you can actually just move to the next one. Yeah, controllers should have priority when taking key spots and defending, so we buffed their perks so they can get to the zone early and fight with less loot. Okay. Bangalore abilities. This shit is going to be crazy. Passive, double time, speed increased by 5%. That's cool. Tactical, smoke launcher. Canister breaks and travels through doors. That's going to be crazy. Projectile speed increased. Damn. Pull out time reduced. Damn. Cooldown reduced. Damn. Gas is now reactive. Ordnance and abilities can disable it. So if you're in I don't know why they say gas. I think they mean smoke here. But what this means is that the smoke will now react to stuff that happens inside of it. In addition to removing auto aim for you damn controller players, you're actually going to have to aim now. Oh no! You also can kind of clear the smoke out by using stuff inside or nearby it. Cooldown reduced for rolling thunder. Damn, that's a big cooldown reduction. Reduced anim frame to fire the projectile to 1 was 5. Anim frame. I don't know what an anim frame is. Does that mean animation frame? So it used to take 5 frames to throw the little flare. Now it only takes 1. Okay, so it deploys faster. Great. Upgrades. Level 2. Ultimate cooldown plus and tactical cooldown removed. What? Cover me moved to level 2. Electric smoke. Okay, so they took away this and they moved Cover Me to level 2, which this is level 2. And now this, Electric Smoke, electrifies your tactical smoke, dealing 100 damage to enemy ults and destroys tacs. This, I'm going to call it right now, is going to get nerfed before the mid-season patch. This shit's crazy. This is going to break the game in, everything dies. Everything dies to this. I've seen some of the videos, and it's crazy. There's going to be smoke everywhere. Tactical abilities are going to get destroyed all the time. A player like Conduit, whose ultimate is kind of as it is already going to just lose that to a tactical. That's crazy. So I think this is an interesting change, but my instinct is that this is going to break the game. It's going to be really stupid, and they're going to revert this in some way. Level 3. Refuge, removed and integrated into Cover Me. New, ECM payload, electrifies your ult, dealing 10 more damage and destroys deployables. So again, like these two things combo, just destroying everything around you this is going to play really, really weird. I think it's going to get nerfed. Medal of Honor, faster revives, and passive triggers running toward knocked enemies. Okay. Dev note, Bangalore is always fun to play, which also makes her a prime candidate to buff into a flex pick. We've updated her upgrades to give her more choices and be a stronger balancing force overall. Similar to how other controllers are set to answer highly mobile legends, Bangalore can now be the one to tackle slower and more defensive metas. All right, this is gonna be weird. This is just gonna be weird. Lots of changes to Caustic. My God, a whole rebuild. Nox gas damage increased 10 to 15, and it was 4 to 10. Just a huge upgrade there. I mean, that's just massive. Now causes aim punch to victims when causing damage. Aim punch, for anyone who's not familiar, that's like flinch. So when you used to get hit by a bullet, your screen would kind of bounce a little bit, like your character would flinch. So now that's going to happen when you're in the gas, making it harder to aim. Caustic's health bar does not show while inside. Okay, so that gets obfuscated. Increased visibility, both outside and inside his own gas. Okay. Highlights are still active. Okay. Clouds now have threat indicators for victims. That's cool. Now grounds enemies, slowing them once and draining them of movement cooldowns. Slow changed. Immediately drains velocity to the desired speed, even if the target is moving at a high velocity. Oh, that's crazy. So if you hit this gas and you're hauling ass, you just basically stop in your tracks. That's going to be interesting. Gas is now reactive, ordnance and ability. So the same thing as the smoke. You can actually clear the gas out with different sort of stuff. Great. And also, I believe in the gas, auto aim is disabled. So, haha, controller players, good luck. I can't stand your stupid ass auto aim bullshit. So, I don't care. Too bad. Abilities, new passive, field research. Gain research points from poisoning enemies, opening unique death boxes, and scanning ring consoles. I think a unique death box means like you can't just keep opening the same one over and over again. And when you do that, you will unlock points specific to Caustic. Unlock an upgrade point for every 100 research points for a maximum of 2, which means you can actually have all 4 unlocked, all 4 of your upgrades unlocked. So he's the only legend that can do that for now. That's interesting. I want to see how this plays. This is crazy. Nox gas trap. Health increased. Damn. Trap can be activated earlier. Damn. Reduced toss and stow by 0.1 seconds. Okay. Damn. Increased trap activation radius. Wow. To 260. Increased gas radius to 300. Wow. Doubled the lifetime. Wow. Caustic traps take ring damage. They didn't take ring damage before? I didn't know that. All right. Increased activation delay. Okay, so that's a slight nerf there. Traps take bullet damage while inflating. Oh. I mean, the inflation time is so low, I never really shot them while they were inflating, but okay. Traps take critical damage when hitting the base. For those of you who don't know, if you shoot the base of a caustic trap, it just deflates. So, cool. Nox gas grenade. Reduced cooldown. Wow. Reduced toss and stow time by 0.05 seconds. These changes always make me laugh. I'm like, is anyone really going to notice a 0.05 second change? Whatever, man. It just seems so minor. Increased projectile speed. Cool. And increased duration. Oh, wow. So the gas grenade will have... Man, this thing is going to be nasty. In endgame rings, endgame circles, this is going to be nasty. An extra duration and a reduced cooldown. Okay. Cool. Upgrades. Parabolic force and residual toxins have been removed. New. Extra traps. 1 additional charge and increased max in the world by 2. Okay. Cool. Breathe it in is moved to level 2. New. Gas fighter. Attack recharges 300% faster while in the gas. Okay. So if you're in your own gas, you're just going to be able to spam your stuff like crazy. Wow. All right. Particle diffuser increases ult radius. Wow. So you can increase the radius and the duration for your ult? Oh my goodness. That is going to be so nasty. Ugh. God. Okay, that's going to be pretty bad. At long last, Nox gas is powerful enough to be scary, even lethal. To balance this out, we've made it reactive to explosions and player abilities. We hope this makes Caustic feel powerful and more relevant while offering opponents a way to counterplay if they're smart about using resources. If they're smart. Okay. Ammo and attachments. We talked about the hop-up booster. Grants 100 locked hop-up points on pickup. Only found in weapon and legendary supply bins. Cool. So the red and yellow supply bins, for those keeping track, cannot be picked up without a locked hop-up weapon. Okay. So you have to have a weapon that has a locked hop-up in order to get this booster. And it gives you 100 points toward that. Does not appear in the black market. Oh. Interesting. Okay. I wonder why. It must be for balancing purposes. Okay. Locked hop-ups, accelerator. Okay, so these are more information about the actual hop-ups. 150 points to unlock, compatible with the Peacekeeper, L-Star, and the Alternator. Must have weapon in hand in order to receive additional ult gain on knock. Okay. Assist window reduced. All right. Ult gain on knock. Okay. So accelerator is like an ultimate accelerator. So you can... Interesting. So I guess this change here is to make it so you can't... it makes it... You have to be able to get knocks, not just assist. Like, you can still get assists, but you have to really be involved in that fight. I mean, a 10-second window for an assist is pretty long. So I guess that kind of makes sense. Ult gain on knock increased to 30%, was 20. Okay. And no longer comes pre-equipped. Okay. Accelerator has been a very powerful hop-up since its addition. We want to keep its power high while incentivizing you to use these weapons more rather than just shoving them into your secondary slot or sling. Looking at you, ballistic mains. All right, fine. Cool. This should be fine. Graffiti mod. 300 locked hop-up points to unlocked. Okay, so the paintballs are still there. Okay, cool. Compatible with the Volt, Spitfire, and the EVA. Improves weapon handling, increases mag size, and adds paintball rounds. Okay, cool. I like the paintball rounds. I think they're fun. Nice. Gun shield generator. Okay, for the Hemlock, the R301, and the Rampage. And 250 points to unlock. Cool. Select fire. Oh, this is going to be great. One of the reasons I didn't use the Prowler very often is because I don't like the burst. The delay between the bursts is very high for me. Very kind of high risk, high reward. I need something with a little bit more of a margin for error. So I never really used the Prowler unless I found the select fire. So often what I would do is I would find the select fire, keep it in my inventory, and then go look for a Prowler. But now you only need 250 points to unlock the auto fire, or to unlock automatic fire with this, which is great. So that'll be cool. I like that. Skull Piercer. Compatible wingman, longbow, and 30-30, just like I said. Okay, 400 points. So that's a little bit harder to unlock. You'll probably unlock that in more of like late game, because you have to deal damage with those guns. And in early game, yeah, you see how it plays. We'll see how it plays. Okay, good. LMG Devotion. Widened reverse hipfire spread, removed improved scaling from higher tier barrels and stocks, mag size reduced. Thank God. The Devotion was running absolutely rampant, and it needed to be nerfed. I'm so glad that they nerfed this. Widening the hipfire spread is great, because as an LMG, it really shouldn't have tight hipfire. The hipfire was just way too tight. And removed the improved scaling from higher tier barrels and stocks, which is great. Anything that you can do to nerf this gun, I think was a win, and reduce the mag size, which is great. So these are all good changes to me. And again, same idea behind the Spitfire and the Rampage. Widened reverse hipfire spread, so the hipfire is going to be less effective. LMGs are feeling. Dev note, LMGs were feeling especially oppressive in close quarters combat, and reverse hipfire contributes to a lot of that. Yeah, because you could just run around and you didn't have to aim. Like, you could just hipfire everything. They're strong and relevant weapon class, but recognize that we need to tamp down on some of the spray gameplay. Yeah, the spray was just out of control, especially on ballistic, because with you take one of these guns, like the Devotion or the Rampage, and put it into ballistic sling, it will automatically get ramped up or turbocharged, and it was just wild. It was terrible. It felt really bad to play against. Like, you just wanted to run away. Okay, pistol. Akimbo P2020 is now in the care package. Increased damage, decreased reload time, improved hipfire accuracy, and added hop-up kinetic feeder. I forget what this does. kinetic feeder. I think that does additional damage to shields, I may be wrong there. But I don't remember what that does. But anyway, all this is awesome. I love the dualies, and I'll be going for these all the time. RE45 is now a burst weapon added to floor loot, found on and has energy. We talked about this a lot. RE45 auto has been removed. Shotgun. The EVA, this gun slaps. Damage per pellet increased. Increased. Oh, wow. And reduced the fire rate. Okay. Purple and gold bolts now match other shotguns. Okay. This gun slaps as it is, so I think this will be interesting to see how it plays out. I like the EVA in its current form, but we'll have to see how this rate of fire change is going to be, how it's going to impact. Mozambiquia. Slightly tighten the blast pattern, which is great. One of the reasons I don't like using the Mozambiques or the dual Mozambiques is because the spread's too far. I found that I was not doing enough damage to targets and ranges that I thought that I would deal damage to them. Like I had to be way too close for this to be effective, so I think this is a good change. Increased rate of fire. Increased rate of fire when using a bolt. Okay. Good buffs there for the Mozambique. Peacekeeper moved back to the floor. Increased mag size. Increased choke time. Okay, so for anyone who's not familiar with what a choke does, a choke a long time ago, it used to be a hop-up that would be put on the Peacekeeper or the triple take. Now, the Peacekeeper, and what it would do is it would tighten the spread for your gun. So like the triple take, for example, shoots 3 bullets, hence triple. And if you aim down sight for a little while, you would see like a crosshair would kind of condense on your screen. It would go like whoop, whoop, whoop. And when it got really to its last stage, it would tighten up the spread on that shot so the bullets wouldn't spread so far out. It's the same thing on the Peacekeeper. So the increased choke time means it will take longer for you to tighten up that spread when you aim down sight with the gun, so that's a nerf. Widen the blast pattern, which is fine. More of a high-risk, high-reward changes here. Increased rechamber time. Damn, there's 3 nerfs to the Peacekeeper. But again, it is coming out of the care package, so it's okay. And no longer deals headshot damage. Okay, that's fine. None of the other shotguns dealt headshot damage, so this is in line with the other shotguns. Cool. Maps. E-District Daytime. Cool. I liked E-District Night, but whatever. Daytime is fine. Lotus, new rotation added. I don't know what this means. Added adjacent doorways. Okay. Map rotations is now going to be Broken Moon, E-District, and Storm Point, so World's Edge and Kings Canyon come out. Mixtape. August 5th through September 15th. Okay, whatever. Modes. Wild card. August 5th to... What? What? Wild card is a permanent mode. Why is it saying here August 5th to the 18th? Second chance revivals. Legend stacking possible. Yeah, we already talked about all this. Okay. Ranked. Drop zone details. Match start. Squads are randomly assigned a POI. We talked about this. Pre-Legend Select players are presented with a map preview of the drop zone. After Legend Select players deploy via squad dropship to an assigned zone with nearby enemy POIs marked for an imminent threat. During landing, added a warning for incoming threats. So if in this new mode here, like we go back to this map right here, you can see that these red icons are where players are going to drop. So here is your drop zone. Like in the example, you know, your squad is dropping at Pylon, but there's another squad that's dropping here. There's another squad that's dropping here. And there's another squad that's dropping over here at Launchpad. So this means that these players could be like, no, we want to go here. And if that happens, you'll get a warning that other players are coming to contest and fight against you, which is like fine, because they will be at a slight disadvantage because they'll get here a little bit later. So you'll be able to get some loot and actually have a decent gunfight. So that's cool. I like that. Let's go back down. We were here. Yep. Ranked matches should allow you to get into the match before it's over. Bad drops can ruin that, and you lose RP. Yeah, I know. That's what I was complaining about. Drop zones mean that all players will land at relatively the same time and have a shot at survival without waiting for the dropship to unload. Contested drops are still possible, but limited and manageable. Good. Manageable meaning like you don't have to fight 12 players, maybe you'll just fight 3, which is nice. No more. Will half the lobby drop on the same POI? I wish that I could, like, upvote this sentence to the power of infinity. Like, this is the best thing that has ever happened to this game and, like, Battle Royale in general. Like, this is just the best thing. Because, again, even if you won the hot drop or if you didn't go to the hot drop and you went someplace else, you know, everyone was dead. And you'd have to spend half the game playing hide and seek, which is not fun. Nobody wants that. You'll get the best chance at loot in your assigned drop zone, but efficient looting is still important in case enemies invade. Cool. This is fantastic. This is a massive W. Massive W to me. This is great. Heat shields are disabled. Ooh. Heat shields are disabled in ranked. Stalling near the ring and doing long out-of-ring rotations will now be even riskier. You'll need to rely on good positioning in order to survive into the late game. That's interesting. So I see what they're saying. Like, long out-of-ring rotations are kind of like, they drive me friggin' nuts. Sometimes players will, like, they just don't care about the ring. I've always said, like, you know, respect the ring, respect the play zone, and don't rely on heat shields or being able to heal through the ring. Like, you should try to avoid these long out-of-ring rotations. So I'm kind of glad that they are doing something to discourage this. But at the same time, I kind of liked the idea of having a heat shield just in case, like, maybe it's not intentional. Maybe you kind of just, you know, the situation that you were in. I don't know. My thought is that if they are trying to discourage this, you could do so by, like, reducing the health of the shield itself instead of just removing it completely. This feels like a very heavy-handed change to me. Like in the late game, rounds 3 and 4, right, or maybe even round 4 and 5, heat shields don't really last in the storm or in the ring. Like, they die really fast because the ring is dealing a lot of damage. Maybe you could just, I don't know, maybe a better change would be to adjust this so long out of ring rotations are, like, discouraged, but you can still have that gameplay option. We'll see how this plays, but this is kind of weird to me. Scoring, oh my god, I don't have time, energy, or the brain power to go through how they do the scoring. This is probably the biggest point right here, is the entry cost. So for Platinum, it's only going to go up by 3? That's it? I kind of thought this would be higher. Okay. I don't know what all this means. I'm going to be honest. A lot of this seems very complicated and confusing to me. Respawn has chosen not to use, like, a traditional MMR or ELO rating system. Instead, they have, like, their own, like, in-house homebrew sort of rating system like this. And I don't know what the results of this are going to actually look like. What I can say is that I do think that there's too many players in Diamond. I think Diamond represents 40% of the player base, which is obviously way too high. I think it's too easy to get to Diamond, and I'm hoping that these changes reduce the number of people that can get into Diamond, myself included. I don't think I necessarily belong in Diamond, maybe. I got to Diamond 3 in the last season with a lot of frustration, but we'll see what these changes do. You know, they're making adjustments to placements and kills, the amount of points that you get. Let's move on. Added a report option for wall hacking. Okay. I'm surprised that wasn't there to begin with. Bug fixes. Burst weapon firing sounds now stop if the weapon is overheated due to ballistics tack. That's nice. Fixed inconsistent behavior when picking up some weapon attachments. Okay. Firing range replicator can no longer craft on a side with an item printing. Didn't know about that. Ring visual effects now consistently show up on Kings Canyon, but they took it out of the rotation, so thank you. Storm Point's North Pad Tower drops sniper loot again. Okay. And zip rails make a first-person noise when attaching. Okay. Watson. Corrected the used... Oh, these are just Watson bug fixes. All right, whatever. Let's talk about quality of life improvements. Improve bot behavior. Great. Updated Halo for Lifeline updated Halo's enemy coloring to help differentiate against the ring. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the Halo for enemies was orange and the ring is orange, so that made it a little bit annoying. Alt can now be targeted and placed above altars tac portals. Okay, cool. Replicator updated color and associated assets to blue. It was purple. I just made a video where I did everything purple. Oh, all right, whatever. Scanning an enemy will no longer show shield information if the enemy is eliminated. Okay. Electrified doors no longer end if the fence placer dies or disconnects. Okay. Updates and tuning to some visual effects. Okay. Armor, 90% less smoke, 40% less debris. Visual effects for armor. Oh. Okay, so the smoke is like basically gone and there's like less debris, so it's just these little sparks. Okay, cool. Flesh. Less lingering blood with shortened lifespan, smaller blood size debris. Okay. So that's what it was before, like blood spattering everywhere, and now that's reduced. So less visual clutter is good. Target acquisition a little bit easier, a little bit cleaner. I like that. Audio. Reduced occlusion of roof footsteps for clarity and consistency. Okay. Skydiving audio will be quieter intended in certain situations. I don't know what that means. Okay. I guess the sound that you make when you skydive is too loud in certain situations. Mic monitor in audio setting now displays for solo players in lobby. Okay. And last, graphics. New tone mapping for a more natural appearance of highlights and visual effects. More consistent brightness regardless of in-game exposure. Okay, great. Cool. So that's the end of the patch notes. My first impression is that amps should not be in ranked. I think the amps are going to be really, really weird. I love so that's the first thing. I think that's going to lead to some really weird imbalance. The other balance concern that I have is Bangalore's electric smoke destroying everything in its path. I think that's going to be really weird. I love the change for drop ships, removing the drop ship and just spawning over a POI and going straight down. I think that's going to be a massive, massive W. And it's going to lead to some much better games and is going to increase game quality, which is, I'm just so excited about that. I like the idea of hop-ups being just put into the gun, and then you just kind of charge the hop-up just like you charge your armor. So that's really cool as well. I think that Caustic's rework is cool, but Bangalore is just going to shit all over it. like you have all of these cool things that you can do with your traps, and you get increased radius and you can 300% faster charge, and then Bangalore is just going to come and throw a smoke and they're all dead anyway. So it's just going to be, I think it's just going to be weird to see how it plays out. Yeah, I don't care about auras or accolades. Like, okay, whatever. But yeah, this is like the highlight for me, and I'm very excited about this. So yeah, looking forward to ranked in the next season. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for these patch notes. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one.